Family, let's get into this because once again the British media and their so-called royal insiders are working overtime to spin Prince Harry's every move into a crisis, into drama, into something that paints him as a perpetual outsider. The latest talking point they're peddling is that Prince Harry and King Charles's hopes of peace are apparently done if one thing happens. Can you imagine? The media loves dangling these ultimatum-style headlines as if Harry is the problem, when in fact he has consistently shown patience, dignity and respect, despite being vilified and scapegoated for years. So here's the setup. Prince Harry is expected back in the UK next week for the WellChild Awards, an event that has been close to his heart for years. Harry's presence at these awards isn't about headlines, it isn't about politics. And it certainly isn't about playing palace games. It's about supporting critically ill children and their families, something he's done quietly and consistently, whether the cameras are on him or not. This man has shown up for these families year after year because he believes in the cause. That's who Harry is: service, compassion and loyalty. Now, the media is claiming that a father-son meeting between Harry and King Charles is scheduled around the same time. Already tabloids are labelling it make or break. You hear that? They're not interested in reconciliation, healing or even reporting the truth. They're interested in packaging Harry as the problem, suggesting that if one leak comes out or if one thing doesn't go perfectly, then all hope is lost. But here's what I want to highlight. Why is it always Harry who's put in this corner? Why is the responsibility for peace always placed on his shoulders as though the rest of the family has been saints? Let's not forget who leaked against him and Meghan for years. Let's not forget who allowed racist dog whistles and outright abuse from the media to go unchecked. Let's not forget who stood by while Meghan's mental health struggles were mocked, minimised and twisted into lies. Yet still, Harry is expected to walk in with open arms, smile through the pain and hope that no one runs to the press with half-truths. And let's be clear, the source of these leaks isn't Harry. Time and time again, stories have been mysteriously dropped into tabloids within hours of Harry or Meghan moving a single step. And yet the finger always gets pointed back at them. It's gaslighting at its finest. Now, this whole narrative that the meeting is make or break reeks of media manipulation. Families don't heal in one afternoon. Reconciliation isn't a PR stunt that can be measured by one conversation. If Charles is sincere, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt here, then it will take patience, consistency and actual change from within that institution. Because Harry has been clear, he wants accountability, not just empty words. And accountability means acknowledging how he and Meghan were treated, acknowledging the harm that was done, and taking real steps to prevent it from happening again. Let's not forget, Harry has reached out before. He's flown across the Atlantic for his father, for his grandmother, for family moments that mattered. He was there at King Charles's coronation, despite being treated as little more than a prop. He has shown up for his family in ways that many people would not, after enduring what he endured. That's love. That's commitment. That's Harry. But has it been reciprocated? Hardly. So when these insiders warn that if things get leaked negatively, then it's done, let's call it what it really is, a thinly veiled threat. They're not protecting the relationship, they're protecting the narrative. They're setting the stage so that if the tabloids publish a toxic headline, they can turn around and say, well, I guess Harry blew it. It's preemptive blame shifting, but I'll tell you what Harry is focused on. His children, his wife, his life of service, and building something positive outside the confines of a broken system. Harry isn't desperate for palace approval. He isn't begging for crumbs of affection from an institution that made it clear long ago where its loyalty lies. And spoiler alert, it wasn't with him. Meghan and Harry have built a life rooted in authenticity. Archewell is thriving, their projects have impact, and Meghan has launched a lifestyle brand that's already generating attention and respect. The couple has partnerships across philanthropy, entertainment and advocacy that highlight their global reach. They are moving forward, not backward. And this is why the media obsesses over these so-called make-or-break moments. Because the truth is, Harry doesn't need this meeting. He doesn't need palace approval to validate his worth. If anything, it's King Charles who needs to make amends with his son. Not because of optics, not because of headlines, but because time is precious. Tomorrow isn't promised. A father should want a relationship with his son that isn't mediated by courtiers or newspaper headlines. And let's just pause here. If this is truly about reconciliation, why on earth are we hearing about it in Us magazine before it even happens? Who benefits from planting that story? Certainly not Harry. Once again, the palace machinery or their hangers-on are setting up a narrative before the fact, so they can control the public perception after. It's the same old playbook. But Harry is not playing games. He has lived through this nonsense, and he knows exactly how the press operates. He has called it out in interviews, in his memoir Spare, and through his lawsuits against the tabloids. He's not going to be bullied into silence or submission. So let's be real. This meeting may or may not happen. And if it does, it may or may not go smoothly. That's life. But what matters is Harry has always stood on truth. And truth is a foundation that cannot be shaken by gossip. And to all those so-called royal reporters salivating over the idea of a make or break headline, let me remind you, Harry and Meghan are not characters in your soap opera. They are real people who have endured real pain and chosen real healing. They're not chess pieces on a palace board. Whether or not this family relationship mends, one thing is clear. Harry has already broken the cycle. He has chosen to raise Archie and Lilibet in a home filled with love, respect and freedom. He has given them the gift of a childhood outside the toxic glare of the UK tabloid circus. That is the ultimate win, and no amount of clickbait can undo that. So family, don't be fooled by this peace hopes are done narrative. Don't let the tabloids twist Harry's strength into weakness or Meghan's success into scandal. They want you to see Harry as a lost prince begging for scraps. But the reality? He's a man who walked away from dysfunction to build something better. And for that, he deserves respect, not ridicule. And with that, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Royal Sussex Squad. We stand in support of Harry and Meghan, not because they're perfect, but because they chose integrity over convenience, truth over lies, and love over hate. If you appreciate this perspective, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment to share your thoughts, and if you'd like to support the channel further, you can always donate through Super Thanks. Every contribution helps keep this space alive and thriving. Prince Harry and King Charles peace hopes done. If one thing happens, a royal insider said it could be make or break for the feuding Prince Harry and King Charles. Toby Codd, Jasmine Carey, Royal Reporter Lauren Welch, Royal Reporter based in London, 2303, through September 4th, 2025. Updated 2303 through September 4th, 2025. A royal insider has warned that Prince Harry and King Charles's hopes of peace could be done over the next week. The father and son are reportedly set to have a face-to-face meeting next Monday, September 8th, as Harry visits the UK for the 2025 WellChild Awards. However, the meeting has been described as make or break for their relationship by one source. If it goes badly, then there's no chance for future peace between the pair. An insider told Us magazine, "This meet-up is make or break. If it goes well, it could lead to other family members being open to better relationships. If things get leaked negatively, then it's done, and there's no chance for future peace. Until next time, family, stay encouraged, stay alert, and remember, the truth always shines through the noise.